Hey, sugar cubes!
Hi, hello!
So, teachers, having spent 17 years of my life in school and planning to spend at least 2 more to get an animation degree, I've been through many different types of teachers. It's usually a hit or a miss. You either get a teacher that's in love with their subject, so you end up loving the class, or a teacher that just goes to work to collect a check and doesn't really engage anyone with their content. You know what I've always wanted out of school? Some real skills I could use in my everyday life. If you are like me and have a passion for art or business, check out Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community for creators with more than 26,000 classes in design, business, and more. I'm personally invested in the animation courses they offer, as well as the illustration ones. If you want to fuel your curiosity, creativity, or even career, Skillshare is the perfect place to keep you learning and thriving in 2019. If you are interested in beginning animation, I would suggest looking up the Flip-a-Clip tutorial. Skillshare is giving away a free 2-month unlimited access trial to the first 500 people who click the link in the description box. And after that, it's only around $10 a month. So check it out down below. People love to bash teachers, so before I get into some of my stories, I just wanted to thank all the good ones that I had in the past. It takes a lot to want to go to a job where you have to spend 8 hours a day with other people's kids and their issues. Getting close to your students is a good thing, but sometimes it can go too far. My calculus teacher was an example of this. He doubled as the high school basketball coach, so he was super buddy-buddy with most of the students. The students were frequently in his class during lunch. We had a huge test one week. When all the papers were graded, he told the class how proud he was of them. Apparently, almost everyone got 100%, except my paper was... Well, I guess I'm stupid. Taking AP Physics, Chemistry, and History at the same time probably wasn't the best idea. Turns out that during one of their lunch hangouts, one of the students stole the answer key, snapshotted it, and sent it to all the other people in the class. I felt so bad for the teacher. He was super genuine, but he let them take advantage of that kindness. Speaking of kindness, the food drive was happening during my 7th grade year. I really wanted to participate in it, so I ran home and asked my mom if I could take some cans to donate from the pantry. She said no, but Mom! Shannon, look around. Aren't I already feeding the poor? Huh. I mean, you're not wrong. You have to understand that at that time, it was difficult to donate to any food drive that came our way due to the fact that we had so many kids in my family. Some of those schools were requiring parents to donate $100 per kid for school funds. Let's just say my parents weren't too fond of that. The next day, my teacher walked to the front of the class to address something. She was dissatisfied about how many cans were gathered so far in her bin. We don't have nearly enough. Obviously, you guys don't want to be charitable. Okay, anyone that hasn't donated, please raise your hand. Reluctantly, me and 2 other girls rose our hands. Thing is, I know those girls. Okay, now come up in front of the class. Come on, we don't have all day. Okay, this is just strange. You see, kids, these people think they are too good to donate. Starving kids are in need and they won't rise up to the occasion. Tomorrow I expect that bin to be full. Class, what do you have to say to them? The class then proceeded to shame us for our obvious lack of charity and white privilege. That bin better be full by tomorrow. Now sit. Did that just happen? Since when was being charitable a requirement? When was donating mandatory or else public humiliation? I even considered stealing from my mom because I was so humiliated. The reason the other girls didn't donate? The first one was from a single-parent household that barely had enough food to put on their own table. The other girl, their family had just lost their business due to bankruptcy, and her parents were in the middle of a divorce. I knew their situations. The teachers should have taken us aside rather than display our lack of funds to the whole class. I was so distraught over the whole thing, so I told my parents, and they went completely insane and ratted her out to the principal. After that, the teacher made sure to give any paper I wrote an automatic A, despite how bad the piece was. Now, I actually tried making it bad just to see what she would do, and it didn't matter. She always gave me an A. Not an outcome I wanted, but nonetheless, I'm grateful. Alongside high school, my religion has an extra class in the morning called Seminary, otherwise known as cemetery, because it sucks. Depending on what state you live in, the class could either start in the morning or the afternoon. I had the absolute privilege of taking it at 6:30 a.m. It was basically a class just learning about my boy Jesus. As a high schooler, that time was way too early. Half the class would be asleep while the other would be doing homework. My dad had a long drive to work every day, so he would take me over to the seminary building around 6 a.m. My teacher that year noticed I was always there early and decided that instead of sitting around that I could help set up her class. She had a very particular way in which she would set up her chairs, and I wasn't doing anything else, so I agreed to help her set up. I was always willing to lend a hand to anyone who asked, cause why not? She was a very driven person, prepping for her lessons, so after setting up the class, I would just sit there kinda awkwardly, not wanting to disrupt her concentration. One day, however, she didn't show up. Now, it's important to note that she was super rich. If she didn't show up, most likely she was in Vegas with her girlfriends or something ridiculous like that. I got into the building at 6 a.m. and no one was there. As it came close to 6:30, she still wasn't there. I didn't want to set up the chairs for nothing, so I waited. It's 6:45, the typical late kids start coming into class, and it just comes to a point where we are all questioning what's even going on. 7 a.m. rolls around and people start to give up on her showing up. You have got to be kidding me, Shannon. It's already 7 and you haven't set up my class? What? I can't start the class all because of you. But I'm not in charge. Yeah, you know what? I don't want to hear your excuses. Just sit down. But that's not fair. She asked some other students to set up some chairs as she started a quick lesson. If I were in that situation today, I would have just yeeted myself out of the class rather than being talked down to. This chick was used to having people clean up for her. I bet she never really cared about a relationship with me. I was just an easy person to dump manual labor onto. I didn't stand for that though. I hid from her. I started sleeping on the pews instead, and you know, it's kind of nice to get some extra rest before school anyways. I bet she woke up late that day and instead of admitting she was in the wrong, took her anger out on me, a 16-year-old, anxiety-ridden child. I wasn't being paid to be her worker. I didn't owe her anything. She never asked why I stopped helping her after that. I don't think I heard anything she even taught during her class after that incident. I was more focused on getting some rest. For some reason, my teachers love to publicly humiliate me. I don't really get it. Before I get into the outro, let me remind you guys that my plushie is out right now over at makeship.com. The link is in the description below. Buying one would really help out the channel, and it'd be a cool way to show your support. It's super soft, and I'm really proud of how it came out, so if you want to snag one while you can, it'll be out for the next few days. Do you guys have any crazy teacher stories? Let me know down in the comments below. I can't wait to hear them all, and I'll be responding to as many posts as I can. Teachers have it pretty rough. The way they handle the stress can be quite interesting, so spill that tea, sis. And as always, thanks for watching the video. Please take a second to like the video, share it, and turn on notifications. Some big revealing story times are coming up in the next few months, and you won't want to miss those. I'm super excited to share them all with you guys, and see ya!